We're going to share tonight on this story again. We're talking about Jesus and his abilities. And Jesus expressly went to this well to sit and rest and to wait for this woman to come. He knew the woman was going to come, and he had opportunity to minister to her. Now, I want to take some time, and I've been sharing this, but God is all-knowing, and it's almost scary to think about this, but God knows everything. He knows everything about everybody. And in this particular story, he knows this woman, but he wants to help her. He doesn't want to expose her, but she's going to expose herself here in just a little bit. But at this point, Jesus is trying to help her, and he's going to help the people of Samaria before it's over. And I want you to think about the fact that the Lord knows everything. He is omniscient, all-knowing. Everything that there is to know, God knows about it. And this woman was coming to the well. She just wanted to get a drink of water, get a bucket of water, whatever, for whatever reason. They didn't have running water like we do today. They had to go to the well to get it. This was a well, Jacob's well. Jacob drank at the well. Jacob gave it to Joseph. Joseph had it for a season before he was carried off into Egypt. But we see here that the Lord is using his ability not to expose this woman or cause her trouble, but he's using his knowledge to help her. He's using his ability to let her know, first of all, he knows all about her situation. And tonight I want you just to take a moment and think about that the Lord knows your situation. God knows everything about you, every situation that you're facing, and he also has an answer for your problem. Jesus is leading this woman who has lots of problems to her answer. Though she is not aware of it right now, initially in this story, Jesus is inching her along a little by little so that she will understand who she's talking to. And so Jesus said to her, she said that the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. But Jesus said, if you knew who you were talking to, you would have asked him and he would have given you living water. And you would never have to thirst again. Now we think, again, too many of us think in the natural realm, and when Jesus is preaching, we think of his words the way that a lot of people would, that he's talking about natural things. But he's not talking about natural things. You can't go to any well and get living water. Can I get a witness? You can't go anywhere. You can't go to your faucet, a spigot, jump in your pool, go to the ocean. You can't get living water in any of those places. There's no availability to get living water. And so she's curious about this because she would like to get living water. And so he's leading her up to the fact that he is the Son of God, and if she would come to him, he would give her living water. And so he says to her, go call your husband. And then she has the audacity to say to Jesus, which you shouldn't do, hello, because he knows everything. She's going to try to put something over on Jesus. She's not the first one to do this. There's a lot of people that tried to put things over on Jesus. They brought a woman caught in the very act of adultery and threw her in front of Jesus, and they said, such should be stoned. What do you say? And Jesus said, he is without sin among you. Let him first cast a stone at her, and they all dropped the rocks and left. And Jesus said, they asked him, what authority do you do this? He said, you tell me by what authority you're doing it. And he said, the baptism of John. Is it of God or of men? They said, of course, the scribes and Pharisees are always thinking. They're trying to figure a way to get through it. And if we say that it's of man, the people will kill us. And if we say it's of God, why'd we ask them a question? So they said, we don't know. And Jesus said, well, I won't tell you by what authority I do this. So you can't play games with God. Hello? You cannot play games with the Lord. He knows everything. So he wants to help you tonight. So it does not avail us anything to try to put something over on the Lord. Lots of people I know, when I talk to them, they're not honest with me. And if they're not honest with me, I cannot help them. Many people have done things that they're absolutely ashamed of, and they will not tell me about them. Not even alone in my office, they still won't tell me, and I can't help them. But if they would be honest, even if I wasn't there, if they would just get honest between them and the Lord and say, God, please forgive me of my sin, whatever it is I've done, then the Lord himself would forgive them of their sin. But when you keep it to yourself, or you're not honest with the Lord, then he cannot help you. He wants to help you. He came to help you. If he wanted to hurt you or expose you, you'd be exposed. Hello? If Jesus wanted to, all your dirty laundry would be exposed. Everybody in the world would know your stuff. Amen. That's why I think it's a shame of these people that find out about what people do and then write a book about them. I don't think that's a fair way to do things, even if they are criminals or whatever. They should have the opportunity of forgiveness, and lots of them do get forgiven. And it's up to us how we use the knowledge that God gives us. And here, Jesus is using his ability to help this woman. And I think it's wonderful about God that his ability that he has is used for good. It's used to help people. It's used to deliver people and set them free. I've often had people say things to me that were not very nice. And they were not thinking about how they could help me. They were thinking about how they could either get even or get mad or whatever. But that doesn't help me. That doesn't help anybody. But when you find something good to say about someone, then you're now trying to help them for their betterment. Amen. Years ago, we had our old-fashioned altar. It's in the back now. We used to have it out front. And people used to come to the altar in tears. Well, it's pretty obvious that they had done something that wasn't pleasing to God, and they wanted to make it right. And the altar was a place where they could meet with God. And you can have an altar. You can have it anywhere. You don't have to necessarily kneel there. That's where we knelt and prayed. But you can kneel anywhere, or sit in your chair, or drive in your car, as the song said. You can be anywhere, and you could talk it over with Jesus. And when you do so, then you begin to establish a relationship with God that's special. And whenever I pray, I don't try to hide anything from God, because he knows everything. I don't try to hide things. And that's why a lot of times when I pray, I like to get away from everybody, because I can pray however I want to. And if it allows me the freedom to talk to God the way he likes me to talk to him. Just be open, clear the air, or if I'm praying for somebody else, I may know things about people. In fact, I do. And I know things I wish I didn't know. Hello. But it allows me to pray for them and ask God to help them and bring restoration to them. If I wanted to expose them, I could pray out loud in the middle in front of God and everybody, oh, help John because he kicked the bucket and did this to whatever. Amen. I'm going to get in trouble. Lord, help me. It's not what I want to do. I want to pray so that I can be effective and that my prayer will reach God and that God will be able to use that prayer to help somebody else. Amen.